It's a bloodline old out there, and we're the twos and the ones and the twos.
Did you catch the LA Knight segment last night on Monday Night Raw? It was a very short, but I feel maybe super important segment that will start a make or break year/storyline for LA Knight. I kind of believe that we've been on this stop, start push of LA Knight for so long that he's been pretty much Dolph Zigglered in that the fans still love him, but they don't love him as much as they once did, or at least the cheers are no longer as loud as they once were because we haven't given up on LA Knight, the person, the wrestler, the character, but we have given up hope that WWE management, i.e. Triple H, is going to actually push LA Knight of any significance. Like, they get him to a point, and then they just kind of stop and take him off TV. But last night, the former $1 million champion, LA Knight, was calling out the double standards in which Adam Pearce has with the Bloodline.
And then last week, I'm seeing you making house calls to Roman Reigns' locker room. You ain't ever come to my little locker room, not once.
How Adam Pearce is literally taking orders from Roman Reigns, and LA Knight called it all out.
Wait, what's that? What's that? Sick.
And I think this could actually be the beginning of a very long-term storyline that could bring LA Knight into the main event scene. And you might be thinking, it was just a backstage interview. Don't forget, Chad Gable. The whole Grande Americano story started with Chad Gable simply going up to Adam Pearce in a backstage segment saying, "What? I heard all these rumors about that I can't fight luchadors. Give me the best luchador you got." That's how the whole Grande Americano thing started. So what if LA Knight's whole big old storyline just starts in a backstage promo calling out Adam Pearce? I'm going to explain all that in about 30 seconds after I tell you about this belt on my shoulder. It is the $1 million championship. LA Knight was a champion actually in NXT. He was the last official holder, and you could be the next official holder. All you got to do is comment below and subscribe to the channel. You see, I'm giving away this belt right here at 30,000 subscribers on my quest to quit my day job. It's not a toy. It's a replica, and it could be yours, yeah! So let's talk about LA Knight's magical push within the confines of hot takes. Carmichael says, dang it, that was a great promo by LA Knight, and I can feel the passion from him. And I love that he's being more aggressive and not backing down from the corrupt Adam Pearce. Blind hope for Knight's direction going forward. And then I Love AEW says they hope that LA Knight goes to SmackDown because he has no hope of beating Roman Reigns, so maybe hope is at SmackDown to beat Cody. And I'm thinking, actually, I think that's the path here, and let me explain how we get there. So currently, LA Knight is arguing with Adam Pearce. That aside, LA Knight is being very vocal about his disdain for the Bloodline. So it seems like we're on a collision course between Roman and LA Knight. And Roman even called out LA Knight at the post show on Clash in Italy. But here's the thing, I think it's all a red herring. He's in the King of the Ring, right? The winner of the King of the Ring gets to pick a champion of their choosing to go face at SummerSlam. I don't think LA Knight's going to win this. He's just not going to win. You got Obafemi or Seth freaking Rollins. I think those are your two safe bets. As for LA Knight, he's going to lose his qualifying match for King of the Ring, probably due to Jimmy Uso or Jacob Fatu or something, whatever, and it's just going to make him even more mad and kind of still just keeping Roman's name in his mouth. But eventually, we get to Money in the Bank. This is the fourth year that I have thought that LA Knight was a shoo-in to win the Money in the Bank. Listen, he is not getting any younger. We gotta do something. We gotta do something now. I swear to you, his pops are getting smaller and smaller. It's a minor miracle that the fans have not just fully thrown up their hands in the air with LA Knight and given up based upon the booking that he's received. Because this guy has been so over and given so little that it's ridiculous. It's like they dust him off for WrestleMania and SummerSlam, and then he's gone the rest of the year, off TV, that is. But yes, I think the play here is that he goes to Money in the Bank, all the while bad-mouthing the Bloodline. He wins the Money in the Bank, and well, then everybody's like, well, that's a foregone conclusion. He's been talking trash about Roman for months now. So we all think that he is going to cash in on Roman Reigns. But what he does is he pulls a Naomi. Naomi won the Money in the Bank. She was currently kind of sort of in a feud with Jade Cargill, and Jade Cargill was in a feud with Tiffany Stratton. So everybody just assumed that Jade Cargill would pin Tiffany Stratton and then Naomi would cash in on Jade Cargill. But what Naomi did was she cashed in on Io Sky and Rhea Ripley in the main event of an Evolution PLE. And then she laughed and said, everybody thought I was going that way, but I went that way, and you're all idiots. And I think LA Knight does that. Everybody will expect Roman Reigns, but the real play is do the unexpected, cash in on Cody Rhodes. If we do not get that final main event push for LA Knight this year, I honestly think that he will go down as like a Mr. Perfect or a $1 Million Man. Hey, you know what? They had great careers. They really did have great careers, and there's no shade whatsoever being compared to Mr. Perfect. However, I do kind of sort of feel that Mr. Perfect, $1 Million Man, Ravishing Rick Rude, I kind of think that they're big what-if stories, if only stories, if only they had a run with the top title, and LA Knight will fall in that category. So yeah, the dude's making a lot of money, and he will be fondly remembered by a lot of people, but he won't be remembered as a top champion if we don't pull the trigger this year. And I'm really, really hoping that that segment that we saw on Raw yesterday is the beginning of that final push to get a championship on him. All right. More hot takes, let's go. As a gamey says, Obafemi doesn't deserve the push yet. Now, you say the word yet, so I'm assuming you're open to the idea of Obafemi getting a push eventually. You just don't think maybe it's too soon right now. I, on the other hand, I agree to disagree with you, respectfully. I do understand the argument that maybe he's too new, and that we should pull back on the guy. He shouldn't be in the main event scene and all these things. I understand, but I just disagree with that because I'm okay with just pushing somebody to the moon, no matter how new they are, if they have that it factor. To me, Braun Breaker had that it factor, and by not pushing him and pushing him and pushing him and making him suffer loss after loss, or just having Paul Heyman constantly say, no Braun, let's not attack, let's do this instead, that kind of made me like just lose most of my interest in Braun Breaker, to be honest with you. Even today, he had an awesome banger of a match with Seth Rollins, but he just ends up losing. And it's like, oh, okay, we're 50-50 booking the guy. Now Braun Breaker at best is a high mid-card guy. I want some like new blood in that main event scene, and that's what Obafemi is for me, and I'm happy that he's here. Now, I do wish, though, that they wouldn't make him so one-dimensional in his in-ring style. TTJC says, I guess Finn is a SmackDown talent now. His rectangle is blue on the King of the Ring brackets. He is. It was commercial break segment. They announced that Finn Balor had been traded to SmackDown. Don't know who he got traded for, but in reality, it just kind of indirectly spotlights that Gunther wasted his favor once more by just the fact that, oh, you know what? Finn Balor, you can go to SmackDown. All right, why couldn't Gunther just go to SmackDown? Why did he have to waste a favor to get there? Heck, Finn Balor was in the middle of a feud with Dominic Mysterio, and he just, you're going to SmackDown now. So Gunther, like, yeah, his whole favor thing, what a waste. Tracy Wood says, I like Julia's new look, new to me anyways. Yeah, it's actually her old look from when she was in the Stardom, I believe. So, like, this is the look that I think that brought her to prominence. So, hopefully, fingers crossed that a new look means a new push. However, being that she lost in her home country of Italy, I think it's just going to be more of the same, which is a shame. She is so good, and she has a lot of passion for wrestling. Drexel Dragon says, main event was better than anything on the Clash PLE. You know what? I think you might be right. I think you might be right. Was it better? The Oba Brock match I thought was actually really good. I definitely did not like the outcome of it, but if I just took out all my emotions, I think that was a really good finish fest match. Yes, you are right. Actually, the Seth Braun Breaker match was the best, now that I'm thinking about it. And the ending was great. I did not like that Braun Breaker lost, but the ending was absolutely fantastic. From Paul Heyman getting speared into the barricade to Seth Rollins holding the belt for Braun to get speared into. Braun looks like a moron, but the ending was great. The match was great. It was better. You're right. This match was better than anything on the PLE. Errol Noir says, Julia did not need to eat the pin. Agreed. Andre Bryant says, with Triple H's booking, who survives a nuclear attack longer? The Bloodline, Judgment Day, or The Vision? Whew. I would have to say the Judgment Day at this point, because at the end of the day, the Bloodline is dependent on Roman Reigns. The Judgment Day, holy cow. Think about it. At one point, the leader was Edge. Edge. Now look at who the leader is. What, Liv Morgan? Dominic Mysterio? I mean, no shade on those two, but we went from Edge to Liv Morgan. How did that even happen? Judgment Day? They're just going to exist from now until forever. And speaking of nuclear blast, this is totally off subject, but if a cockroach can survive a nuclear blast, then what do they put in Raid? How can this thing that's in a spray bottle be more powerful than a nuclear blast? You know what I'm saying? That's just, deep thoughts by Russell Chop. Michael Lohr says, best show in years. Give us more of this, more wrestling. This was actually a really good Monday Night Raw. I think I gave it a 7 or something last night on my one take, one shot review. And that's the problem with my gut reaction. Sometimes I sleep on it. I'm yeah, that was better than I thought. I probably should have gave this an 8, a high 8. Subject 166 says, why is Liv in there? I think you're talking about why is Liv in the actual Queen of the Ring brackets? Because she's, I guess she wants to win the crown and challenge for the title, even though she actually has the top women's title on Raw. This is day 45 of Liv Morgan not defending her championship, and that I just don't understand. They have no plans for Liv whatsoever, that they have her trying to challenge for the other title? Come on. I know Stephanie Vakir was supposed to be her program, but you have writers, right? I've seen the writing room on Unreal. There are multiple writers. Give Liv Morgan a freaking story. Let her defend her title. I don't understand why we give these people championships and then we just take them off TV. We take them out of storylines. And that's what we're doing with Liv Morgan. The same exact thing that we did to Jade Cargill and Io Sky last year, which made their title reign suck. We decided to do it again with Liv Morgan, to the point that she's now in the Queen of the Ring because they've got nothing for her storyline-wise. Matt is Haunted says, in the main event, Braun threw Seth over the barrier into some fans who sold it like a car crash, yet the commentators didn't even mention it. You're right. Obviously they were plants. He even put quotes on fans, but it's why wasn't this a bigger deal? Oh my God, look at those fans. They should have went all out. The match should have continued to happen while there were doctors and stuff and paramedics trying to get those fans out of there. If you're going to go to that lengths to make it seem like the fans got, hurt, then go all the way. Otherwise, it kind of takes you out of the moment. You are absolutely right. Don't do the spot if you're not willing to commit to the entire bit. Killer Wolf says, not a hot take, but who did Finn get traded for? They haven't said it yet. But who did Gunther get traded for also? Gunther made a deal to go over there, but don't you think there was some kind of quid pro quo So, like, who is going over to Monday Night Raw? Maybe Solo Sikoa and the MFTs. Maybe they should have just done that. Or make it simple. Just say Jacob Fatu. Say Jacob Fatu was traded because he's still technically a SmackDown guy, and now that he's part of the Bloodline, like, it's so simple. Like, I made that up on the spot. It's so simple, and yet they don't bother to just add a sentence or two to close the loop of these storylines. Kid Wilkes says fatal four-way matches in the opening round of these tournaments are cop-outs to avoid definitive losers. You're right. Honestly, you are right. And then It's OTW says, Jacob going back to being someone's lapdog wasn't on my 2026 bingo card. You know, I get what you're saying. I do get what you're saying, but I actually kind of like this. I do kind of like this because it's not like he's going back to be Solo's lapdog. He's going to be Roman's. Plus, there's the whole storyline of, I don't think Jacob is going to be like Jey Uso in the sense of just getting completely berated by Roman the first time around, but I think the story here between Jacob as part of the Bloodline is the story of Jacob and Jey. Because Jacob even got in Jay's face, and Jay's been like, he's been really trolling Jacob since he lost. But then the moment Jacob got in his face, Jay got all serious. If we're not putting the belt on Jacob, this is a prominent storyline that could go somewhere. Plus, unlike a lot of WWE stories, the Bloodline is a well thought out story that has Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns actively trying to figure out what the next steps are and the long-term goal for it. While Triple H and the rest of the storylines, they don't. So Jacob is actually, in my opinion, in a good spot if he wasn't going to win the title, because he's in a long-term story now that will keep him at the forefront of WWE TV. And the Finnish Observer said Jacob's career was killed in an all-timer horrendous segment. I don't think I actually enjoyed it. I did enjoy it. And I think a lot of people are upset that Jacob got on his knees and was like, I acknowledge you, Roman, right? I think that was like one of the big things. But don't forget what Jacob's character was. When he came in to the WWE as someone who was all about his tribal chief, Solo Sikoa, the dude would pray to him like he was a god. And he would scream, I love you, Solo! I love you, Solo. So, like, I think Jacob's character is this. He's hard to tame, right? He's a loose cannon. He's hard to tame. However, once he pledges his loyalty to you, like, he's all in. He is all in, and he will go the extra mile to make sure you know that he's all in. And don't forget, Roman never said get on your knees. That was the choice of Jacob Fatu to get on his knees to do that. And that's because when Jacob says something, he means it, and he goes all in on it. And that is why I feel that this was not an all-time horrible segment, but that's just me. Anyways, boys, anyways, girls, those are your hot takes for Monday Night Raw. Let me know what you thought of it in the comments below. See you, bye.